Hey, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I am Desiree Cocroft, a speaker, author, life transformation coach, and life strategist to help you get your life together. I love working with leaders and entrepreneurs in all walks of life, as well as people that just have big, audacious goals, so I can help you get the clarity, the confidence that you need to accomplish those goals, as well as learning how to just manage your energy so that you can do the things that you want in your life. So today I want to talk about how you can change your life without waiting another year. So I have some clients that tell me about the big audacious goals that they want to do, and then they give me their timeline. And when they give me their timeline, I look at them like, why do you want to wait 3 years to do this? Or why does this take a whole nother year to do? And so there's something that's called Parkinson's law. And Parkinson's law is about how time expands to the time we give it. So you may be familiar with this scenario. Sometimes you have company that's coming by and your house looks a wreck. Now, you may not have touched anything, or you kind of felt like, oh, you know what, I need a Saturday morning before I can clean everything up. But as soon as someone calls and says, hey, I'm coming by, suddenly it takes you 30 minutes to clean up your house, or suddenly it takes you 10 minutes to suddenly look like a brand new spanking house. Whatever the case is, time expands to the time that we give it. When we are in a crunch, we tend to make it work. Sometimes we'll have assignments that we have to do if you were in college, or you're currently in college, or if you're working and you have this big project or what have you. We'll have all this time to do it. And, when we have all this time, we spend, the front load of the time researching and taking our time and just thinking about how much time we have. And then suddenly things get super intense when things are about to be due. And so there is something to be said about when we really shorten that time frame, how much we can actually get done. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to rush everything in our life, but this video is about how to change your life without waiting a year, because sometimes we don't give ourselves permission to do things in a sooner time frame. And a lot of times it's because we don't think it's possible. So that leads to my number one thing. My number one thing when you're thinking about things that you desire to have in your life and feeling like, oh, I have to put it off into another year, is to know that whatever you desire is possible right now. And it might not be like it's going to happen today, but if you decide that you want to start right now, it's possible to have what you desire sooner rather than later, when you position yourself to decide that I can have it right now. So the first thing is to just know that you have options that are possible for you. Sometimes we put things off because we just don't think it's possible right now. But let's consider for a moment the thing that's on your mind, the thing that you say you want to have, and consider, what would it be like if it actually had to happen in a month? What would it be like if I had to do it in 3 months or 6 months? Pick something. But suddenly you start figuring it out. You start figuring out, okay, if this had to happen here, this is what I would do. This is where I would go. This is who I would call. We would figure it out. So if you truly want to see something different in your life sooner rather than later, or you're considering something that you kind of settled with yourself, like, oh, it can happen later, I want to challenge you. What would it look like if you decided that it was possible for it to happen sooner? That it can happen within a year, or less than a year, or in the next 3 months? What are some things that, you could shift around to make that happen? Like, use this as a fun activity, something that you can explore and imagine what is possible. And I guarantee you, when you do this activity, you'll probably, if not all of you, most of you will find like, you know what? I could make some moves on this right now and see something happen sooner rather than later, because you are giving yourself space to imagine what's possible, because it is possible that you can have it right now. So I want you to take some time and think about what it would be like if you had to do it earlier. So that's the first thing. You got to catch a vision. You got to catch a vision of what would be possible if it was to happen earlier. And the only way to catch a vision is to give yourself permission to catch a vision. Sometimes we don't even let ourselves dream or imagine because we're so used to playing things safe or not taking risks. So give yourself permission to imagine and to play and just to see, What if I did do this? What could that look like? Ask questions. You just never know what is possible until you start talking about what is possible. Which leads me to my next point, is that confidence comes when you decide. So in my book, Get Your Life Today, I talk about confidence comes when you decide. When you decide on something and you make a decision about a thing, suddenly the confidence comes. And so maybe this is something that you've been putting off because you really don't have the confidence about it. You're like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm ready for this. But sometimes we don't get ready until we decide to just be ready. And suddenly when we decide to be ready, we are ready and we just do it. So I want you to think about, how could you make a definitive decision about the thing that you say that you wanted years from now, or you weren't sure if you can do right away. And let's bring it back. If you decide that this is something you want to see in 90 days, just put your stuff all in it. Like, okay, I want to do this or have this in 90 days. Let me be ready for it in 90 days. What would it look like for me to get ready for it, right? And it doesn't hurt you because you already put it out here, right? So if it happens earlier, I mean, great. But it doesn't hurt you, right? To position yourself to just decide that you're ready for it, and the confidence will come because you'll start taking the action that is aligned with it. Whether that action is easy or hard doesn't matter. It's you're taking action. Whether you get the result that you want right away doesn't matter. The more you take action, the more feedback you get, and the more feedback you get will help you how to make the adjustments so that you can take even better action later as you learn how to get better at what you're doing. And so confidence comes when you decide. So decide today that you are going to take a shot at what it is that you want to see happen in your life. And you're going to take a shot now. You're not going to wait a year out. You're going to start making some moves in it now. All right. So that's the next thing. Confidence comes when you decide. So make some decisions. The third thing is knowing that you have everything that you need. This is one of my favorites, and this is something that is from my book, Success Hacks for Life, Leadership, and Business, Get Your Life Today. And so I really love talking about we have everything that we need. Everything that we need is always around us. So let's say you don't have any money and you need money. Well, you know people, you have gifts and talents, you know how to create things, you have Mama Google that can help you learn almost anything, and you also have YouTube that is owned by Google, and they can also help you learn what you need to know. But the point is, you have access to things that can help you get money. You can create a resume and that can create a job for you to get money. You can create a business that can help you get money. You can find different ways to, earn money online or earn money in person. There are just so many things that you have access to, which means that literally anything that you need, you have access to something that can get you what you need. And so a lot of times we use the excuse of, oh no, it's going to take me a year to, build up my resume, or it's going to take me a year to, meet the people that I need to meet, or it's going to take me a year, all the things, right? But really, will it? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to take all that time. Like, what if you started now? Or what if you, really took time to think about, like, where do I have access to the resources that will get me closer to what I want? If you really spent some creative time thinking about that, even if you did it like 5 or 10 minutes a day, just journal down some people you should call, something you should go look at, something you should go read, 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, you could accelerate the thing that you desire to do. And it can happen a lot sooner than later because you're tapping into finding what is necessary so that you can have what you need, versus kind of putting it off, feeling like there's only one way to get it. This is the only way. And I would challenge that, that there are many ways to, for instance, make money. There are many ways to, find a job. There are many ways to name it. There are so many ways to get to a specific goal that, really exploring the options. And so if you would believe and act on the fact that you have everything that you need, I guarantee that your life could change before a year is up, within a year. You don't have to put things so far out knowing that you have everything you need right now. And last but not least, if you really want to change your life in less than a year and not waiting until, that's a 2023 thing, I would really encourage you to define what success looks like to you. So sometimes we have this big audacious goal or big, idea of what success is because we're comparing ourselves to what success looks like for other people, and we want to have the same thing that they have, or we think it's supposed to look like that. So that's what I need to have, and that's what I need to do, and so that's going to take me longer than a year, or I need to put it way out there. But I want to encourage you to think about, well, what do you want? And that is way different than the goal that you might have that is really mocked after what somebody else wanted. And so the more that you can define your success into terms of what makes sense for you, then you might find that I don't need to wait more time to do this because this is actually really doable right now. And so it can give yourself permission to unlock some of the things we talked about earlier in this video so that you can see those things happening earlier. So define your success in the terms that make most sense to you. Give yourself the success data that you need to know like you can make these milestones. So the success data that you might have might be in terms of money, it might be in terms of time, or whatever numerical, thing that you need to know to really resonate that this is your measure of success. And then also thinking about qualitatively, what are the ways that you want to feel? What do you want success to look like for you? Because again, that might be something different as well. Like, hey, I want to be able to take my time doing this, but maybe you really can take your time and it doesn't take a year to do it, but it's just the way that you take your time doing it. Maybe you have vacation time, and because of that, you can use that to help you do some of the things that you desire to do. There's just so many opportunities and possibilities for you to accomplish your goal, and I love to help people figure out the possibilities because there are many. So define your success, and I guarantee when you define your success, you might find that it is not such a lofty goal after all because you've trimmed it down, or you found out other ways to do it that make it easier to get to. So I hope this video was helpful to you. I was inspired even as I was talking about some things that I need to go back and look at. So hopefully you were as well. Go ahead and get the goodies in the description box. If you would like a copy of my book, Get Your Life Today, go ahead and click below. If you want my Clarity Workbook, that is free $99, go ahead and click below as well. And until the next time, go and be great, and I will see you in the next video.